Hi guys, today we're going to examine how you can use the news to your advantage in your social media and online activities. My name is Carl from Buzz Website Design, and it's our job to help you do better in your online marketing reach and response rates. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that news is everywhere, and there's no reason why you couldn't selectively use some of that to your advantage on your blog and also on your social media. Now, pinching the news and using it to your own advantage is actually called newsjacking. And effectively, you're just hijacking a story and doing something with it to further your own aims or get your own opinion across, or to help your potential target market or your audience. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't literally copy and paste somebody else's work. There's no copyright infringement, so you won't likely get into trouble. So how do we go about newsjacking or using the news to our advantage in our social media? Well, there's a number of ways you can get started with this. The first one is just to write a comment, a view or something to add to it or support it or put it down or something like that. Now, the key with this is to be sensible and make it relevant to your target market. Remember that all social media, all of your online activity, your blog, your social media, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Instagrams, all of it needs to be relevant to your audience, your target market. And so therefore you need to be sensitive to that with newsjacking or using the news in your social media. So the first thing is just write a comment. One of the best things you can do on social media is to invite engagement, invite discussion, get people expressing their opinions, especially if you can do that on your blog or on LinkedIn, or particularly on one of your LinkedIn article, for example. Look for engagement. Look for getting people involved and having their discussions. They might not agree with you, and that's okay. As long as it doesn't become too nasty, you should be okay. Also, you can express your opinion on a particular news item. I'm in the tech and web marketing industry, and there's all kinds of things that we can pick on. Some of it good, some of it bad. Some of the big names in our industry really get it wrong or really kind of miss the point. And so there's plenty to choose from. Something that will also stir up a little bit of engagement and discussion is if you're controversial, is if you're going against the grain of conventional thinking or mass opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. The downside is that you must be prepared to take some flack from those who you are contradicting, but ultimately if you can handle that, it's a great way of getting your name out there. It's also a good name of being, standing out from the crowd, hopefully in a good way. Now, there's a couple of things that also go along with this. Now, there's nothing wrong with you rewriting a particular news item in your own words. So take the thrust of what somebody else has written, put it into your own words, and use it as your own content on your blog, for example. There's nothing unlawful about that. But the key thing is this, is that it needs to be relevant to your target market. Now, we're in the web design industry, we do a lot of online marketing, and if we were suddenly to start doing car reviews on our social media and in our blog, that would make no sense whatsoever. I might be interested in cars, as it happens I'm really not, but if I started writing about this stuff, then it would just think, well, hang on a minute, where's this come from? Well, why is this relevant to me? So you need to make your content and all of what you're doing in your newsjacking and using the news relevant to your target market. And secondary to that, it needs to be useful to your target market. There's nothing worse than having a look at social media where somebody's just being a bit blah. It's almost like a waste of time. I don't have time in my business to just sit reading rubbish. Give me something I can use, make it useful, make it informative, make it entertaining and funny if you can. But ultimately, keep me engaged by making it relevant and useful to me as your target market. I mean, a good example, so we did a video, 18 months ago now, when the new Star Wars film came out, and I did a video on how to use Star Wars in your marketing. Effectively, I wasn't hijacking the news, I was hijacking a particular film, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It doesn't just have to be news, it can be current affairs in whatever way, shape or form. The new female Doctor Who's caused quite a stir. Can you write an opinion piece on it that appeals to your target market if your target market are interested? Donald Trump's upsetting just about everybody. Is it relevant to your target market to write about it? Brexit is going to be a big deal for business, which affects me and many of my colleagues. Again, it's something, can you write about it? And again, it's that all sorts of different things. If you're into cars, do the Volkswagen fuel scandal, how did that affect your customers? Can you write about it? You know, we have a client who wrote about insurance companies selling accident detail to injury claims companies and then having the gall to whinge about all of the injury claims that were coming through insurance. I mean, seriously. But they wrote about it because it was part of their industry and relevant to their target market. So there's just a few examples. I'm sure you can think of loads. But the key thing is this: if you're going to use news, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, and I encourage you to do that, then please make it relevant. Just keep your eyes open to what's going on. Make a note of something that you see as interesting where you could have an angle that could be useful and relevant to your target market. So I really hope that's been useful. If you've got any great examples, please write them in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do one of these roughly once a week, and I promise you it's going to help you in your business. But that's enough for me. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.